Assalamu alaikum and hi everybody. This is Zeeshan Hasan, tutor of Advanced Audit Assurance. Um, Recently, uh, just today, few days before just the exam, the new technical article by Advanced Audit Assurance examination team has been uploaded on the AAA Advanced Audit Assurance technical articles section, and the article is the audit of less complex entities. It is, you can say that it is a uh, current issue as well. And just before the few days before the examination, they put an article into the technical article section. Means this article has a very strong chances that it will be tested in your exams. So do not ignore this lecture. Must watch it at least once or two times before going for the exam, as it has very, very, very high chances. So the audit of less complex entities, right? By the way, is the topic name, and it is, it is the sort of, you can say it is a current issue as well. And so my WhatsApp number is given to you all. Uh, if you need any guidance or any discussions, here it is my WhatsApp number for you all. So firstly, under this, the purpose and objectives of ISA for LCE. LCE means, as I said, and as it was written in the introduction, it means less complex entities. Okay. Now, one of the objective and the purpose for introducing less complex entities is proportionate and tailored. Um, this standard, I feel, is just like an ISA, IFRS for you know uh, small and medium size entities. This is something like that in the world of audits. Okay, so the name for the ISA the aim for the ISA for LCE is to provide a standard which is which is proportionate and tailored. That means a small pack, a medium pack of standards to the audit of smaller and less complex businesses. Okay. The IAASB. Who is IAASB? I hope you all know International Audit Assurance Standard Board. Has stated that the ISA for LCE has been designed to ensure that audit procedures to be carried out are appropriate for the size and complexity of the entity under audit, right? It's aim, one of the aim of IASB, as they said, that they said that to design the set of audit procedures to be carried out, which are appropriate and less time wasting according to the size and complexity of the entity under audit. So the standard provides a practical guidance to demonstrate how audit procedures can be applied in a less complex environment. Okay. By the way, what are the less complex environment means, small entities, for example, owner occupied or a one the organization which has one or two partners which are not listed, they are not group. Okay, they have simple transactions between them. So another thing is it still has emphasize on risk-based risk-based approach. So the ISA for LCE, sorry, here I made a spelling mistake a bit. It is for. For LCE, continues to focus on a risk-based approach like other standards do, that they do focus on the risk, right? So this this ensures that an auditor works on smaller entities able to focus on the areas most at risk of material misstatement. Here, auditor will focus on on those areas which are the at most of the risk. Okay, auditors are required to use their professional judgment. Professional judgment is still there when applying a relevant audit approach, okay, to the engagement. The focus on the key areas allows for targeted procedures and should also result in audit being less burdensome on entities which lack the extensive resources of a larger company, right? So this standards will focus on the area, uh, on the key areas which will allow, and they will provide more uh, targeted procedures, okay, and will should also result in audit being less burdensome. It will be less burdensome. It will not be that time consuming on the entities which lack the extensive resources of a larger company. Okay, as I said. No, even the audit documentation requirement is very simple. Due to there will be less audit documentation, as you know, due to extensive audit documentation requirements, which are set out in the main ISAs. Another driver for the standard was the aim of reducing the administrative burden, okay, on auditors for LCEs, while still auditors have to make sure that that sufficient and appropriate audit evidence is obtained to provide audit opinion. Now, next question. When the ISA for LCE can be used? Okay, so decision about the required or permitted use of the ISA for LCE is determined by the individual jurisdictions. For example, in the country in which we are living, for example, in Pakistan, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan or the Pakistan Parliament will decide it. In UK, it will ICAW, ACCA, and UK Parliament will decide it. In India, ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and Indian Parliament will decide it. So, like that, the relevant jurisdiction and the standard setting bodies will decide it. Okay. So, the ISA for LCE should only be used once it is formally adopted. Okay. It and who will adopt it for the relevant regulatory body. For example, in Pakistan, I just said ICAP. In India, it's ICAI. In UK, it's ACCA and ICAW and etc. for other countries. So, and adopted, and the scope of its use confirmed by the relevant regulatory authority, for example, ICAW, ICAP, etc., or standard setting authority in the country. Okay, the standard does provide specific guidance, okay, on which the ISA for LCE may or may not be applied. Okay, so on which entities ISA for LCE may not be applied. That means where we cannot apply this standard, on which entities or where it cannot be applied. Oh, don't do this. Yeah, just a second. Yeah. So regulatory requirements, specific prohibitions. That means where this standard cannot be applied, where ISA for LCE cannot be applied. Wow. Simple and easy. One, it cannot be applied at in the listed entity. Why not? Because listed entity has complex transactions. It has a larger structure. Okay, there are a lot of complexities over there. So that's why. Now, another is entity which has public interest characteristics. Entity which has public interest characteristics, uh, such as financial institutions. For example, here I will write, for example, financial institutions, investment banks, uh, banks, or such entities, okay, insurance providers, etc. Now, like that, another is a group where any of the group companies fall into the two categories listed above. That means of where component auditors are involved, or where component auditors are involved. Auditor involvement is limited to circumstances in which a physical presence is needed for a specific audit procedure for the group audit, such as attending the inventory count, essentially where the involvement of a component auditor is limited to the performance of a specific audit procedures. Now, also we have some qualitative characteristics, the standard, as you can see, the standard does Standard also set out key qualitative characteristics which describe what is deemed to be an LCE. Okay, uh, LCE on the basis of an entity not displaying this would not be a suitable candidate for the ISA for LCE. That means if these qualitative characteristics are not there, then such entities are not suitable candidate are not suitable to apply this standard. These characteristics cover a number of key aspects of business and include the industry business activity and model. The LCE is likely to operate in an industry or the business model which does not give rise to significant persuasive business risk. There won't be so many business risks over there, and is not governed by a specific laws or regulations which add complexity. The entities transactions are likely to result from only from one a few revenue streams. There will be less revenue streams as such. Even a smaller entity operating in a highly regulated industry such as financial services would not satisfy the criteria for ISA for LCE to be applied by the auditor. Another is organizational size and structure. The entities structure should be straightforward with minimal reporting requirements, reporting lines. Okay, for example, reporting lines and a small key management team. Therefore, an entity with a large management team or multiple individuals involved in managing different areas of the business is unlikely to meet this requirement. So that means there should be, you know, it should be, as I said earlier, it should be honor occupied. It should be, a partnership business with one or two partners, right? There should be a few number of employees. Okay. So next point is again is on ownership structure, as you can see. So ownership structure should also be simplistic, and all owners are known and easily identified. As I said, okay, they should simplified means they all are identical. They are easy to access. They should not be those owners which are outside the country and all. Okay, complex group or ownership structures would preclude an entity from being audited using the ISA for LCE. Then we have a nature of the finance function. The entity should have a centralized finance function. and few number of employees, three, four, five, 20, okay, and few in the financial reporting process. The standard suggests five individuals or fewer. So here it is. I wrongly said 20. It's uh, only few number of employees involved under the finance function that should be between 1 to 5. Therefore, any entity with a very large or decentralized function where multiple teams are preparing financial information should not be audited using the ISA for LCE. I hope it is clear to you. Then we have information technology, IT on LCE should have simple IT processes and is likely to use commercial off-the-shelf IT software, that which are not tailor-made, which are easily available in the market. For example, Microsoft Excel, and is likely to use commercial off-the-shelf IT software, which has limited ability to changes and configurations. Okay, access to the IT systems is also likely to be uh, limited to one or two designated individuals. It should not be accessible to everyone. Therefore, entities which rely on complex IT systems such as SAP, uh, oracles, etc., reports or sophisticated system of internal controls not qualify for the standard to be applied. Now, financial reporting framework and accounting estimates so the entity financial statements will require limited management judgment, okay, to be utilized when applying the requirements of the financial reporting where entity has financial accounting estimates which rely on complex techniques, assumptions, or data, the ISA or for LC should not be applied. It should have very simple financial transactions, and there should be very less applications of estimates, okay, such as, capitalization would be okay in this case. So, um, the quantitative thresholds, the ISA for LCE suggests each relevant jurisdiction should also determine appropriate quantitative thresholds such as revenue. Okay. So what are the quantitative thresholds? Revenue, assets, or employees numbers to help determine for which entities the ISA for LCE can be used or not. Now, what are the benefits of using the ISA for LCE? First benefit, simplification of audit and documentation requirements. Simplification of audit and documentation requirements. One of the key benefits of applying the ISA for LCE is the simplification of the audit requirements by you ensuring that such audit focus on the most relevant audit requirements. It also eliminates those requirements which are typically not applicable to less complex entities. For example, the ISA for LCE has more tailored requirements around understanding a company's systems of internal control. This is on the basis that such entities will have more simplistic and basic systems in place. Another example is amendment for auditing accounting estimates because companies for which the standard can be used are unlikely to have very complex accounting estimates which rely on detailed assumptions and complex models. Okay, next benefit is standard is scalable and proportionate. One of the key aims for the ISA for LCE is the ISA for LCE is to provide a standard which is proportionate and tailored to the audit of smaller and less complex businesses. This angle of the standard should be beneficial for small entities as it will allow the audit firm to tailor their audit approach based on the specific requirements of the client rather than having to apply and meet more stringent requirements of the ISA. And then we have efficiency and accessibility. The standard aims to make the audit process for LCs more efficient, accessible through reducing complexity of the audit processes and the time required to complete the audit. This will make the process more efficient, which should result in cost savings for both in the audit firm and the audit client. This should also make the audit process more accessible to smaller audit firms and should allow firms or clients with access to fewer resources be able to conduct or obtain a high quality audit. Okay. And the last is quality assurance and confidence in the finance reporting. A focus of the standard was to reduce the burden of the audit processes while still ensuring that audits are conducted to a high standard. This ensures even smaller entities can receive reliable and thorough audits, the results of which can be used by the businesses for investment for lending decisions. The standard has been designed to be implemented globally and incorporates the flexibility to ensure that local regulations can still be accommodated. This results in effective audit results, irrespective of whether IFRS accounting standards or local accounting standards have been adopted by the entity. So, the aim of which is to ensure confidence is the financial reporting access process applied by less complex organizations, entities. So, uh, as far as the exam focus is concerned on this topic, uh, well, candidates may be asked to demonstrate appropriate knowledge, in relation and purpose and contents or benefits of the ISA LCE, and should be prepared to provide suitable answers points to a requirement of this nature. A question focus on engagement acceptance may be okay. May ask candidates to determine if the application of the ISA for LCE would be suitable in a specific set of circumstances by considering the nature of the entity under audit quality management question. So, management question may ask candidates to assess and critique where the standard has been inappropriately applied and the impact that this may have had on the work performed. For the purpose of exam questions, it will be made clear to candidates where an entity will comply with the relevant quantitative thresholds. So, I hope you understand this standard and how it can be tested in the exams. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me over the WhatsApp. And that's it for now from my side. Take care and good luck.